We are officially live on the YouTube channel, which is not actually live, but welcome if you're watching this on YouTube. Let's see. Hang on. It's asking for a title. No, we're not doing a title. We'll just do the description. Come on, Facebook. Facebook is such a pain with this new live producer thing. Anyways.
We're not live then.
We are live. So what's going on, everybody? We are live with another episode of Season 2, Whiskey Thursday. We're excited that you are here. And if you are here, make sure to put hashtag live in the comments down below, hashtag replay in the comments down below if you're watching the replay. But anyways, we have a special guest tonight. We're super stoked to introduce him. So I will let Shane do that before he puts another mouthful of food in while I spam the chat bot.
Well, thank you so much for putting me on the spot there, Matt, especially for Joe, who you've been working with for the past few years. But Joe, welcome to the show. Once again, I think you've been on here for 2-3 times now, and it's always a blast having you on. So I'm looking forward to, talking about your success, everything that you've been doing over the past, especially over the past year. I think things have really blown up for you. At least that's what it sounds like. And I think for everybody that's watching, you guys are in for a treat because the last couple episodes Joe was on, Joe just doesn't care. Just like, here are my secrets. This is what I'm doing. These are all the tools I'm using. This is everything. I think we talked about group acquisition stuff the last time, and you basically went through everything that you were doing to acquire new customers as a real estate agent, which was really cool. So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff and everything else that you're doing. So Joe, man, welcome to the show again. Everybody that's watching, thanks so much for tuning in. I don't know what Matt's talking about being live on YouTube or whatever.
I was talking about being live on YouTube because we started the recording early. Now everybody, see, look what you did. No, I'm just kidding.
I screwed it all up. It's all good though. It's all good. People understand, right? We're still not used to this whole YouTube thing. So
I know.
I think we'll be okay.
We haven't been doing as great as we should be about getting it out there. But anyways, yeah. So I'm pretty stoked. So if you're watching right now, please hashtag live in the comments down below, hashtag replay in the comments down below. I know we always say that's like for engagement for a lot of things. In the beginning, it's so that I know that this live producer thing that I'm using with Facebook is working. Because if I don't see comments in the beginning, then I got to go figure out if it's working or not.
I don't see any comments and I don't see any viewers, so I'm not sure what's going on.
It's all good. It's all good. The chat bot just went out, so we should start to see that come through in a moment.
I got it, so.
Awesome. Yep, I just got it as well. So I'm on that one to make sure I get those notifications. But anyways, what's going on, Joe?
Oh,
what's up, man?
All kinds of stuff. Busy. I don't know if everybody's noticed, but in my market, it is absolutely crazy, and things are just selling left and right, and yeah, it's.
Remind us. So again, Colorado, right?
Yep, Grand Junction, Colorado, western side.
So let's remind everybody, because you're, most of our audience here is typically, marketers and things like that, but you're an agent, licensed agent, use a little bit of your own marketing and stuff, but you've had some pretty interesting techniques over the years on acquiring new customers, typically for free. So
yeah, and if you are a marketer watching this right now, do not think, oh, it's an agent, I'm going to click off. That would be a big mistake. You're going to miss out on a lot of insight from a successful agent.
Also, if you're a marketer, throw some questions in that you want answered that you don't know how to get from an agent, or you want to ask an agent, or you want to get the insight from an agent. Because I'm telling you, I still get calls. I got a call the other day and I talked to the guy for 15 minutes and it was about Facebook ads. And he was like, hey, we're going to sell you this package. I just want to hear what he said. So I talked to him for 15 minutes to see what it wasn't great. So if you want to know what we think when we get a call or an email or some clickbait, throw it in there and I'll give you my honest opinion, what I think, what I see and what I would say to what you post and do.
Well, that
could be really fun.
Yeah.
The last time you were on Whiskey Thursday, actually, I think you shared some of your best moments with marketers on the phone.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
You shared one of the best pitches that you've ever had. So
yeah. It was interesting because that girl, she had it down. It sounded genuine. It didn't sound like a script, but I knew it was a script because I'd heard it before.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
How you say it, tone, speed, tonality, if you actually sound like you're interested or not. There's a lot of difference. Over the phone, you can get a lot of good and bad. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be said about things that are not said on a phone call.
Oh, and Matt, you've taught me real well about like purposely pausing, purposely making them
Uncomfortable.
say something. What's that? Glenn Ross,
Mm-hmm.
where the guy like he talks about it. He's like, you sit at the table, and the first person to speak loses. It's true. You just got to do it. Sometimes you got to put it out there, and you let them. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be real awkward, but it works.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, that the pause, it's so powerful. Like silence is so powerful on a sales call, and it's completely underutilized. But it's one of my favorite things because it's really how you draw information.
And the longer you have them on the phone, the more you can draw it out, and the better timing you have with them. But the longer you have on the phone, the better options you have to actually get them to sell. That's why this guy kept talking to me.
Yeah, and like we talk about in one of the courses that you're in, is what's that?
Just one of them.
Just one of them. At least one of them. I know we talk about like that silence. And hang on, I had something I was going for, and then I missed it. Oh man, gotta love COVID quarantine. Although we're technically kind of out of it now. But anyways, let's see. Oh shoot, I was just thinking it. I was talking about silence. We're gonna have to come back to it. Shane, come up with a question.
Pause for a little bit.
I know, right?
Let you think about it.
Like, let Matt. Whoa, I just went out of focus. All right, there we go.
That's what your brain did.
What's that?
That's what your brain did. It went out of focus.
Right? It totally did. Oh, man. Sean, let's see. Oh, we do have some questions coming in already. Peter says, I got a question. Despite us being in marketing, would it still be worth getting a realtor license just for the heck of it? Is it beneficial even if you don't want to be a realtor? Well, I would never say get a real estate license just for the heck of it. But the second part of the question, is it beneficial even if you don't want to be a realtor to be licensed? I don't know, Joe. What are your thoughts?
So if I was a marketer, I would say yes for two reasons. One, you can get a referral fee for some of these, which is a great thing to do. And if you don't have a license, it's illegal to do that. So you can put that in there. Secondly, if you call somebody and you've gone through your licensing, your state, you're going to know a lot more of the terminology. You're going to be able to go to these events where only realtors are supposed to be, because you're a real estate agent. You can go mingle with all of them, and you can kind of figure out that kind of angle from it. But it'll give you a good amount of insight. And when you're putting stuff together, if it is within your state or your MLS, you could, have a lot of more leeway to do that. So depending on the state, I think my state, it's like 168 hours. Matt, I think yours is like 40 or something ridiculous.
40.
Wow. So if it's 40,
it's like a weekend.
It's probably worth it. Yeah. If it's 168 and it's going to take you 3 months and it's going to cost you, $1,000, I mean, I would probably still do it as a marketer, but that just depends. If you're going nationally and you're not trying to stay within your niche market of your state, maybe not. It just depends.
Love it. Sean says, what's Matt's Facebook for realtors? You're talking about my Facebook, account? What do you mean my Facebook for realtors?
Probably your program.
Clarify, Sean. What's that?
Your program.
Oh, Brand Over Braun. Yep.
And over Braun.
Questions.
We're going to get into that now, or we're going to save that for later? Or?
Maybe we'll get in that in a little bit. But let's see. Ahmed says, it's 5 a.m. here in Pakistan, and I'm really excited about my first Whiskey Thursday. Dude, I love that. I love it. He's up at 5 a.m. I'm not saying you should be drinking. I'm not going to judge you if you are or if you're not.
If you're watching Whiskey Thursday, get into it.
He's got mimosas. There we go. Mimosas would be acceptable, no doubt. But even if you're not, we're excited to have you here, Ahmed. Sean says the group. Yep, it's called Brand Over Braun, Sean. Feel free to shoot me a message on that. But anyways, where were we? We were talking about, being a realtor. So Sammy actually talked about that last week, right? He's licensed as a real estate agent, so he's able to take a referral fee, which is rare in the marketing world. And he doesn't do it all the time, but occasionally if he's got somebody who's a producer, he's got somebody that is his champion, which is one of the methods that Shane teaches inside of the REMCM Academy. Having that champion, that person who's going to be there to, we won't go too in depth, but that person who's willing to jump on a call
Don't give
with
the
a
course
prospect.
away.
What's that?
Don't give the course away.
Right.
it's like a 15-minute video.
But it's so
far
powerful.
from
And I mean, it really played into what Sammy was talking about last week. And it plays into this question, right? So would there be value? I would have to say yes. I don't know. Shane, what do you think?
I don't know. I have a license, but I'm married to a licensed real estate agent. So
Okay.
yeah, and I would say hands down, like it's very, very, to be able to say either whether you're licensed or your partner's licensed, so you've been able to work in this industry for a long time and understand it. Because honestly, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't understand half the stuff real estate agents have to go through. And I also think it gives you a little bit more. And I think actually, even as a marketer with a license, if you're not working in it, you may not have like that empathy that you should have for real estate agents, and just the understanding of how much effort goes into like closing some of these deals and the risk and everything else that comes with what you're having to go through. I think I've been really fortunate to be able to like see it. I can see my wife working the contracts. I can see her having to like rush out at 11 o'clock at night to get a deal signed or whatever, or like a deal almost falling through because an inspection's not coming through, right? And so like all of these other little things, for me, it's just giving me, more insight into that industry. And so I think at the very least, the license would be valuable because of the terminology and just understanding the business, being able to get invited to, events and things like that. But if you've got a close friend or partner or something, like if you're a marketer, I would basically, I would, try to get your wife to get licensed. Like then you could take advantage of everything without having to deal with the crap.
Right.
So, and then actually watch what ends up happening. Right. It's pretty wild what real estate agents have to go through.
Yeah.
So,
Olivia just jumped on. Olivia, what's going on? It's been a minute.
Wow. Yeah.
How are you? Let's see. Tarun says, you guys are frigging awesome with G's instead of CK. I like it. Yash says, what's the best way to win a realtor's trust in order to run their digital marketing? That's a great question.
So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. The best way for selling anything is always going to be kneecap to kneecap, face to face. With COVID and with trying to market throughout the country, that's going to be hard. But
well, and he did clarify. I should have said this. With many realtors being burned by different lead gen companies.
Yeah. Okay. So first thing you have to do is actually establish, like I do with my clients. I think this is a big thing that isn't done in the marketing world. Is you give expectations early so they know what they're getting into, and there's no like way that they can misinterpret it. If you're coming in there and you're like, hey, I'm going to do X for you, and then we'll see if you can get Y. Because guess what? I can give you 100 leads, 1,000 leads, whatever. It doesn't mean you can convert any of them because I don't know how good a salesperson you are, right? But you can give expectations of, as a marketer, I can do X, Y, and Z. We'll see if you can do the rest. And if I can't deliver on what I'm doing, well then, hey, maybe I'm not right for you. That's how I would do it, because that's how I run my business with my clients in real life, is that I give them expectations about what's going to happen, how it works, what the end result's going to be, and then they have to do the steps in between to make sure that happens.
Makes sense. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm going to jump in
it.
here because I think this has always been a big, it's one of the big things we teach inside of the academy, which is essentially I've always leveraged Facebook as much as possible, right? And just being able to establish yourself as the authority in the space by just, pumping out more results, more testimonials, and so on. And like you said, Joe, face-to-face is huge, right? I love doing events. Whether they're networking events or real estate events. Some of my clients actually have invited me in the past to a lot of their events, and one of the things that I really like about that is that you walk into these rooms, most of the people don't know anything about marketing, and you end up being the only person that knows anything about it, right? So everybody's eyeballs are like, wow, and there's no distraction. All the attention's focused on you, right? So I always feel like, these networking events or these, any type of event where you can go to where there's a lot of real estate agents are always a really, really great way to get, to either get clients or at the very least build some authority.
You hit it on the head when you said you become the subject matter expert, okay? Because if you go give a presentation, people are going to look at you and they're like, I don't know this guy. And then after he gives a presentation, they're going to be like, wow, he knows his stuff. He knows way more than I know about this. And you know what I pay for? I pay for people that are specialists. I pay a dentist. I pay a doctor. I pay somebody that does those kind of things. So if you come in and you establish that, yeah, they're going to come use you. They're going to come want to use you. They're going to come want to work with you. The hard part is I get a call on somebody that I don't know, and they're like, oh yeah, in a 5-minute pitch, I want you to spend $2,000 every month. Well, I don't know you from Adam. If I sat through 30 minutes of a presentation from you, you can prove to me that 1, you're professional, 2, you know what you're talking about, and 3, you know a lot more than I know, so that's why I need to pay you. That's why I need to work with you. Because you are going to do something that I can't do, whether it's time, effort, or knowledge, I can't do because you can do better.
Yeah.
Plus, you have a much better chance to build, that rapport that's so like the rapport and the trust, right? That really is critical to trying to, sell these customers, right? I mean, you have an opportunity face to face to be able to do that. It's very difficult to build that level of rapport over the phone. At the very least in those first 5-10 minutes, right? It's very, very difficult to do that. And then the other thing too is just, the amount of competition. I mean, Joe, I don't know how many phone calls a day you get, but I can see my wife's Facebook page and all the people messaging her, right? And I just I love responding to those people, but I mean, that's the problem, right? You're getting, 10, 15 phone calls a week, and so like, if you're doing those phone calls or you're doing, you're messaging Facebook pages or whatever, you really, really need to stand out. Like, really need to stand out from the rest,
Oh, and if you're doing emails, you can have the catchiest open lines. I have to unsubscribe from 10 of those a week because they'll pull it from the MLS, they'll pull it from my website, they'll pull it from somewhere, and then you just get spammed with those. Now, some of them get really good. Like, they get good clickbait, and I might even read the email, but I mean, even that, even if I do open yours out of the other 100 I got this month, it's really going to be hard to have copy that's good that I work with you off an email.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that one of the big, like, probably somewhere where a lot of the maybe newer agency owners or marketers and so on might fall short. And I've been, I've done this before too, and I'm sure Matt as well, is the follow-up. I mean, not every single agent's going to be ready to sign on the dotted lines the day you call them, right? And so the follow-up is so critical. And I really think that a lot of people are missing out on the opportunities because they're just not following up. And that can be everything from, following up with emails, phone calls, just adding them as a friend on Facebook, and then just pumping out more content so that when they are ready to pull the trigger, they're going to be reaching out to you because they're the only person that, like, you keep reaching out, you keep sending emails, you keep appearing on Facebook. And I think there's a lot of missed opportunity there from people that are just not following up.
Yeah.
Well, the best analogy I've ever heard was, it's like going and asking a girl out at a restaurant, right? Just because it's a big day for you that you made that call doesn't mean that they're in the right place or the right mindset or ready at all. But if, like you said, you do the follow-up, they might be having a really, really bad day the day you first ask, but if you keep following up, you might be able to find the right time that actually works out.
Or get a restraining order. But
again,
get an answer.
It is an analogy. Do not use this in practice.
We're not saying use the same follow-up plan that we recommend in the academy.
You call her 10 times in the first week. Yeah, you'll get a restraining order, all right?
Oh, man. No, I love it. And actually, I remembered what I was thinking as far as the silent sync. And again, I don't remember which program we talk about it, but basically, the person who talks more feels that the conversation went the best.
Yes.
And so if you are the one talking the most, you're going to feel like, oh, it was a great conversation. You can do your follow-up.
You must feel amazing every time we talk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I get on the phone, I'm like, Shane loves me.
I took that and I really focused on what Matt just said in my buyer's presentations when I sit down with them the first time. And what I was finding out was I wanted to give them a lot of information about the contracts, the way everything works. And what I found out was my original plan had me talking so much of the time. It was really hard because after 30 minutes of me talking, they're sitting there like this. They're sitting there like, uninterested, bored, whatever. So I actually changed. So the first 20 minutes I'm asking them a question and waiting for a response. And then I use concentrated pauses, head nodding, and mirroring to really get those pulled back out of them. And after 20 minutes of them talking, I can talk for the next half an hour and they're happy. But you have to let them really, really like express what they like from the beginning, and then rapport built, you're good to go.
Yeah, no, I love it. And then mirroring and matching. I mean, how did you deal with that? Because that's not something a lot of people. Was it natural for you? Did you learn to do it?
So it's fairly natural. Like I'm not a huge, like I'm just gonna sit here and do whatever. But I can tell you, if you start thinking about it, like consciously like trying to do it, it'll become easier and easier over time.
Yeah.
Like I just found out because so I was doing consultations after consultations, like every week I was doing 1, 2, 3, whatever it was. And then COVID hit and we weren't able to see people for about like 4 weeks. I didn't have one consultation. And I came back, my first one, I was so mad at myself because my skills were just not there. And because I've got jokes that I have set up, I have like timings for like to get them to do like it's really
Joe, you gotta share some jokes.
But they're just like funny things that when you're like talking about something to make it like lighter, so it's not a joke, but it's like
Oh, okay.
When
I thought you're actually sitting down making up jokes, become the next Matt Kramer comedian.
No, I'm not quite. No, it's just when you're talking about stuff. Like everybody always has problems with HOAs here because they're like, well, I don't want an HOA. I don't want somebody to tell me what to do. So when I explain it, I'm always telling them, hey, like we might have an HOA, but it's probably just about the irrigation water, or it's about whatever. It's not all they want is for Uncle Eddie not to be parked outside, from family vacation. And everyone's like, oh yeah, they always kind of like laugh at that one for sure.
Oh man,
good, it's good.
But yeah, it's just little things like that. So you make it a little bit lighter, so it's not quite like X's and O's, and I'm doing a PowerPoint.
And one way to get really good at mirroring people and some of these other skills as well, just go out and practice.
Yeah,
like you don't have to sell homes. You don't have to go out and just go out and talk to people, right? And just go practice. And I mean, that's the easiest way to get good at this stuff. And don't save the practicing for your pitch.
No.
Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we talk about that. You don't want to be practicing on your clients.
No.
That is your income that you are putting at risk. You should be practicing with other agents, right? Or if you're a marketer, other marketers.
So there's a famous book written by, I think he's either like a retired FBI agent. I should go get it because like everybody should read this book. But I don't know what the name of the book is.
Go get it.
Never split the difference.
What's that?
Never split the difference.
Is that what it is?
Is that the one that your wife read that you were like, oh my God?
Yeah. So my wife reads this book. It's like it's yellow, right? I don't know if anyways.
I listen to it on Audible, so I don't know.
Oh, do you? Okay, you don't read the book. Yeah. You're like me. I can't read. So.
I listen to stuff driving and at the gym.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But it's crazy. So she ends up reading this book, right? So that she could improve on her negotiating skills for like negotiating with real estate clients. Mm-hmm. And one day we're sitting down and she's talking to me and we're talking and, and we have this like 20-minute conversation. We end the conversation and she's like, did you notice? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, okay, I actually started, like, I'm practicing my negotiating skills on you. I'm like, great, thanks. And now like, it's constant, like it's all the time. And she's gotten really, really good now at negotiating. So I never win.
Yep. It's the yellow and red cover.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Pulled it up on Audible.
What is it? What's it called?
Never Split the Difference.
Ever Split the Difference. Yeah. She says it's one of the best books she's read. So.
Oh, it's a good one.
Very good. Very good.
We do have a couple questions in here.
Let's with car dealerships and everything. And
yeah, no, it's just some of the stuff she was reading to me was like, wow, this is really crazy stuff.
All right, I got to get into that one.
It's good.
I haven't read it yet, or I haven't listened to it yet. It's on my Audible, so I need to start doing that. Okay, so we got a couple more questions. Actually, we got quite a few, lots of questions. And for anybody who doesn't know, like we mentioned, Joe is a real estate agent who's crushing it right now. Who started only 2 years ago?
2 years ago this month. So I've got
2 years ago this month.
7 days till hit my 2-year mark.
I love it. So anyways, let's see. If you have questions, maybe you're a marketer, Maybe you're an agent, you have questions as an agent, like, hey, what do I do to start crushing it like you are? Maybe you're a marketer, like, hey, how do I start connecting with agents? How do I get my pitch across? You have questions, whatever. Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you're watching live, hashtag live in the comments down below. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay in the comments down below. But we're going to get into some of these questions. Sebastian says, what's the most successful Facebook campaign you are using right now to grow your business?
So, unfortunately, I'm using a lot of the brand over brawn methods. So I'm not running any Facebook ads currently. No paid advertising. I haven't really done a lot of that in quite a while.
Yep. And that's basically, for anybody who's not in that, if you're in the academy, it's where we talk about the local celebrity effect, right? And that's what you've been using. Now, when you were running Facebook ads, what was the last one you were running?
Foreclosure ad.
Foreclosure. Yep. From the Foreclosure Masterclass, which has, Shane, I think that's still been our #1 masterclass.
Yeah, it's the biggest. Yeah, it has the most sales for sure.
I love it.
So for that one, I was running ads. I've had other people run ads, and in Colorado specifically.
You've had other people run ads? You're in the academy and you had some? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
This is way back when,
Right.
So actually, it was before I even got with you, is what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because the first time we talked, which is funny, because Matt was a marketer. He marketed to me as an agent. He got me hooked. That was actually really good. But I tried working with a different marketer and spent like $500 for a course. He was supposed to run ads for like 2 months for me. I ended up spending like $1,500 and got one lead, literally one lead. It was the worst thing ever. So yeah, don't do that. But anyway, so when I was running ads, this was last year. So Colorado, the cost per lead is a little bit higher than most states. Most of the people that I was talking to said it would be between $9 and $15 per lead. I was getting, when I tried to run them on my own, wasn't even worth talking about. When I went with Matt and did like the foreclosure ads, we got them down to, I think my best campaign was $1.99, and I ran that for about 3 months. So
yeah, so you grabbed a lot of leads at that time.
Oh yeah, I was grabbing about 200 a month.
And can you, for anybody who missed the last live, you were broke at the time. So how are you paying for your lead generation? I just want to
bring this up.
I love to bring it up because I feel like there's so many people that they're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and then it's like they don't take action. It's like it's about dedication. It's about taking action. And I love the way that you did it. So how were you able to afford your Facebook ads?
So I was pretty much broke. I was like, I have to be able to pay for this, and I need at least $350 a month. So there was the blood donations, the plasma, and I would go in 6 times a month. So you had to make 6 to 7 times a month to make $350. And I was doing that, which takes like an hour and a half every time you do it. But I did that 7 times a month, every month for like 6 months. Actually ended up being almost a full year by the end of it, just so I could pay for my Facebook ads. That's how I paid for them. I literally had a little like debit card, and that's what I put into Facebook, and it would take it off of that.
You know what's interesting about that is it may have lowered your alcohol bill, right? Not as much blood in the system.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a cheap date. It's okay.
No, I love it. But I mean that's the kind of dedication you need to be using. Well, maybe not necessarily selling your blood, but if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do, right?
It got me to where I need to go. So just to kind of wrap up this section of it on the paid ads, over 6 months I spent, what was it? It was about 2,000, 2,500, something like that. I ended up closing like 8 or 10 deals off of it. My ROI was 40,000 after spending 2,500 or something like that. And I took that and I was not satisfied because I realized like it was taking so much time to get these to convert. And then I get these clients and they're not ready. And that's really hard when you're a new agent and you don't have business now, is waiting on somebody to be ready in 6 months. So,
well, I mean, how do you deal with that as a new agent? I mean, I know how I dealt with it, but like for you, and I was doing expireds, right? So my return was a lot quicker once I got decent at expireds. But you're working Facebook leads, right? You're working Facebook ad leads and things like that. So during that 6 months, how did you stay motivated to keep going?
Oh, I couldn't give up. Like for me, I don't quit unless I'm beat. And honestly, like everybody knew I was a real estate agent. I just started. I was like 9 months in. I'd had 2 deals. Like nothing else was working. But I was like, hey, I chose this. I'm gonna be successful at it. And all I kept doing was I started paying for stuff. I started paying for more courses. I started doing more. I realized that if I had more knowledge and I had a bigger audience, then I could sell more houses. So all I did was spend time on YouTube and Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram and everything I could possibly figure out to get more knowledge of how to talk to more people to get more deals. And then it just spiraled.
I love it. And Theron says, I just read Gary Keller's book to get into the mindset of a realtor based off your suggestion, Matt. Awesome. I'm glad you, I don't remember when I suggested it, but I'm glad you did it. It is definitely a great book for anybody who's trying to understand the real estate industry better. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. But anyways, is there any other books you recommend as a marketer to speak a realtor's language and understand their world better? Joe, do you know of any?
Trying to think off the top of my head. I'd have to look through. Chris Walters, The Millionaire Real Estate Team.
Yep.
That's a really good one. I love that.
Chris Waters.
Waters.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. It's like Christy something. She had one that was like how to sell 100 homes in a year.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
I don't remember her last name. It's very, very good though. She gives away a lot of good information.
Yeah. Shane, you know who she is. How to sell 100 homes a year. Kristen Mashore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Very, very interesting.
Get on our mailing list too. Like you want to look at some really good email marketing.
Yeah, if you're a marketer, you want to understand real estate agent, like how to speak to them. She has a great email system or
follow-ups, email
sequence.
follow-ups.
There we go. Email sequence. It's Whiskey Thursday, everybody. How's it going? No.
I'm trying to think, there's some good ones, but
the other one I would think, Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blunt, I think is what his name was.
You have to send me that. I haven't read that one.
That's a really good one. Fanatical Prospecting. If you haven't read that, write it down. It's a really good one. I'll have to think if there's any other ones that are real estate related.
There's a couple I just can't think of off the top of my head right now.
Olivia says, now with COVID, are guys doing more virtual events? Are you doing more virtual things in your market?
I'm not.
Okay.
I have a couple like showings and stuff we're doing virtually. Like I've done a lot of out-of-state buyers. I've had 2 close that literally like never saw the house, but I walked through them with like FaceTime kind of thing.
Yep.
Other than that, not really anything crazy. I'm pushing more like on my listings. We have a couple different things, like if you know what Matterport is, it like shows you a view of the house. So you can like literally physically walk through with a 360 view. I'm doing that for all my listings, and I'm telling them that it's really a marketing thing, and it's nice for people that don't want to walk through a house. But I mean, it's just a gimmick.
Makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, because I mean, in Colorado, you didn't have the lockdown as much as like Michigan. Like they were doing a lot of virtual appointments for buyers and sellers and whatnot.
Yeah, I did walkthrough videos for all my listings beforehand, so like those are all online. But
We gotta get those online.
yeah, once you put those online, they're fine.
Ahmed says, keeping in mind the whole COVID-19 situation, what do you think? Which ad will be working great in the recent months or coming months or whatever? What's your go-to ad if you had to run an ad tomorrow, even with COVID-19?
If it was me,
Yep.
foreclosure and homes list, 100%. I'd be hammering those because
Shane?
one.
Oops, sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
Oh no, keep going. Because what?
So one, people think that the world's ending, so they think there's going to be a lot more foreclosures, and they think they can get a good deal. And two, homes list. If you're pushing it out there and they're a halfway educated buyer, they know that the interest rates are really low, and the second they go get pre-approved, they can be qualified for like almost double what they were last year. So they should be pushing for that too.
Yeah, no, 100%. Shane, do you have any thoughts? What are you seeing crushing it right now?
I know I run whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah. No,
Am I delayed?
no, you're good. I say I've been
Oh.
kind of on the home list lately.
You're homeless?
No, on the homes list.
Well, you couldn't tell by looking at you.
I know, right? Corona hair, don't care. My wife was like, "You're going on like that?" I'm like, "Whatever. It's Whiskey Thursday."
I should brush mine, like slicked it back so it
I
wouldn't be all
know. I
crazy.
just like it doesn't want to do anything today, and I was just like, "I'm gonna fight it."
Yeah, I find, listings right now are really killing it. Like if I can get some good listings from an agent, that's what I'll do first. The lead quality has been good. It's just they're a little bit more, they're a little harder to put together. So not harder. It's just they sell, right? It's not like, I've had like all the homes lists we've ever run, they've run for months and months, right? Yeah. I think my longest running homes list was 15 months or something. Like it's it just averaged $4 a lead. I just left it. So one of the things I ask my clients now is to, like, for specific markets where maybe like the DOMs are maybe 100, 120 days or so, like those types of markets, then I'll grab the listings where I don't have to do a whole lot of work. Or I'll let my clients know that, listen, we need to run the listing for at least 4 weeks. Like don't give me like a condo that is going to sell before I put the ad up, right? And like I work in markets where homes are selling. There was one market I was working in, a home sold in 2 hours. It's like, dang, it didn't even hit the market. It just like somebody put an offer on it, right? So that's why I don't like the listings, except the listings are getting really good results right now. I don't like working and putting ads together. I want to put an ad together, and not that I don't like working. I just want to put an ad together, let it run so we can focus on other things,
Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, the market here is really hot as well. We're starting to look at houses, and it's just like,
and it's gone.
It's gone.
You got a lot of great deals out in Detroit. What are you talking about?
Detroit. I'm not trying to get into Detroit. Come on.
Why not? You get a house there for $600.
Can you still? I haven't even looked,
You got so many great deals there. Like you just drive out a little bit, like on the, I don't know what side, but the
west side, I think is what you're referring to.
The west side, yeah.
Yeah.
The other side of the train tracks.
Oh man. Yash is a great. I haven't seen him like that. Somebody you'll have to see if you can find him and post it.
Well, there was one. There's an old guy that was buying up I was watching a documentary on him a couple of years ago, and he was buying up all the property, like everything, like $200, $400, and he was just like, he was accumulating all the real estate, not all the real estate in Detroit, but just a ton of real estate by just paying off like whatever taxes were or whatever debt. Like I don't know if it's the tax or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yash does have a good question. I like this. What keeps a realtor up at night?
Inspections, appraisals, lenders. Oh. Shane, you know this because your wife has to deal with them. Our best clients and worst clients are lenders because they'll either make it or break it for you, and then the inspectors are the next ones.
Yeah. I say the other one I would say a client who seems to be making really good money driving an old vehicle.
Indecisive clients. That's what.
Yeah.
What was that last thing, Joe? Sorry.
Indecisive clients.
Oh, indecisive clients. Yeah.
So Shane knows this because your wife deals with it all the time. Matt, you've dealt with this. So what you don't realize is like, so you talk to a real estate agent, like, hey, I'll give you a lead. Let's say that lead's awesome. They're ready to go. They're qualified. They're super excited to go work, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you think as a marketer, now I've done my job. Well, the agent should get paid from that, right? Well, let's see all the things that can mess it up. They can go to another agent. They might actually work with you. Well, they could also look at houses for 3 months before they decide that they want to go rent again, or they want to move to a different area. Or, hey, they finally find the right house. You put an offer in, but it's a hot market, so it gets taken. So now you got to find another one. And no house is as good as that house. Or you finally find one and you get it under contract. And now once you're under contract, you've got inspection, title, appraisal, the buyer getting cold feet. You could have a job fall out like COVID and one of my listings happened. You could have the roof cave in. You could find out there's foundation issues. You could find out that the insurance company won't actually insure the house, and so now we can't get a loan on it. Crazy stuff happens. And it can happen like that. And as a real estate agent, you went from having a payday in 3 days of $5,000, $10,000, whatever, to now you're back to square one. Oh, and now you've wasted all this time, and you got to go show them more houses. Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah. Oh.
Come on, you guys get paid so much, 3%. Like, come on.
Yeah. Woo! That $100,000 trailer, and I made, after taxes, $1,200 on it. Super worth.
It's because you live in the wrong place. You're living in the wrong. That's the problem. Like,
No.
When I look at the commission checks here, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, where you guys live? Like my buddy out in LA, man, the lowest he goes is like 450, and I'm like, that's like almost luxury.
Yeah, but there's a difference, right? A lot of more competition. Like that's one of the things in our area here. Like, yeah, the average home. I think the average right now in the downtown core is like maybe 800. That's the average. And then when you get out, like outside of the core, you're probably looking at about 600 for a single family home. Plenty of like you buy townhomes and like it's normal to buy a townhome for 700. It's crazy. The pricing is great. So just imagine, so 2.5%, that's the sort of typical here, but you have 56,000 agents, right? So you're lucky if you're getting one deal per year.
So in my market, there's just over 100,000 people, and we have just over 1,000 agents.
I love it.
So
1% of the people.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the year, I think there was 1,018 people in the county that had the real estate license. Guess what? Guess where I'm at in the MLS right now? Where I'm ranked.
Where are you ranked, Joe? Because I don't think I put it up there.
I'm number 34.
Ooh.
And that's including teams and real estate agents from doing everything.
Dude, awesome. I love it. That's awesome. Congrats.
Next year when you come back on Whiskey Thursday, you'll be
top 10.
Top 10. Probably sooner, right? You'll have to throw an announcement inside the group. That's awesome.
It's pretty hard though, because like you're talking teams, like because
we've had these conversations. Where are you at with the
getting a transaction coordinator, like
transaction coordinator? Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting that. That's the first thing.
Then the EA.
We're getting there. I'm still new at this, guys. Like I know it's working and it's like crazy, but I'm still new at this.
Yeah, and that's one of the tough things a lot of people have when they're growing, right? Is setting aside the time to work on the business and not in the business. Because right now you're the only one there, right? Yeah. And so what are your clients supposed to do while you go off to try and hire your assistant?
Yeah, or
go to somebody else.
To go fishing. Like, good Lord.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And Sean has a good question. He says, "What's the average houses closed per month?" I'm guessing he's talking about for you. Because I think for most real estate agents, it'd be like 0.3.
How many deals closed per month? Or what the prices of the homes?
Let's do both.
Okay. So average deal NAR statistics for 2019 was the average agent closed 4.7 houses a year. So that's almost 5 transactions. In the state of Colorado, the average agent closed 8.9 transactions a year. Year to date right now, I have 23 closed. I have 8 under contract, 2 active listings, 2 listings coming up in the next 2 weeks, and I have 5 pre-qualified buyers I'm working with right now.
Nice. So that would be 23. So you right now are doing about 4 a month.
Yeah, that's going to be right around where I end up. Mm-hmm.
Nah, you're gonna.
We had a little COVID, pullback because and then I lost a couple deals because of that, but they'll come back.
So you can do 40 deals this year.
Do more than that.
So Shane, good number. So I actually picked this out earlier this year. I don't know if you guys can see that.
This is 40 and 20.
Ah, 40 and 20. Yeah.
Yeah. So 40 and 20. So I put that up there, and we're about halfway through the year, and I'm at 23. So yeah.
Nice.
We'll get there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's good. I mean, it's good. Like, and for anybody, like, it's tough to sell homes, easy. Right? Like, it's not like to get like selling 3 or 4 homes a year. That's one thing, right? Like, okay, whatever. Anybody can do that. You're selling to your friends and family at that point, right? 10, that starts to get like 40 though, man. It's it starts to get impressive, right? Because once you hit like that 70, 80, like you've got people working for you and things like that, right? It's very rare you're seeing agents getting up to, I've seen a couple agents doing 100. So crazy story. I spoke to a new client that I had no idea. Like he just called me out of the blue one day and he said, "Hey, listen, can you run some ads for us and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Because he ended up knowing somebody else I was working for. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll run some ads." And then yesterday, so I'm not, like, for anybody that knows me, I'm the kind of guy like put up ads, let them run, and then hopefully, the clients never have to call me again, right? And then ads run forever. But anyways, he ended up calling me because we ended up having to switch things up because something we're working on had changed. And we had a conversation. I never had a conversation about his business or anything like that. Cause he basically he called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, listen, I want to do this. Can you start, as soon as possible?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." So I got into like, "Hey, tell me a little bit more about your business." Cause I know nothing about you. Right. 700. And I think he did 720 deals last year. I think that was the number, if I'm not mistaken. I was stunned. That's insane. Crazy amount of deals.
I don't even know how it's possible. It's like 2 a day.
It's got to be a team, right?
Small team, yeah. A small team, right? Small team with a lot of big new construction contracts, which makes it a little. But they basically they were telling me a story of how they sold out an entire building, like a whole building, in 2 weekends.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Great, okay, you're a good client. I'll keep you." Right?
That's awesome.
Let's see here. Where are we at in the questions? Average house. Blah, blah, blah. What kind of outreach have you been impressed with?
Like somebody like reaching out to me?
Yep.
Let's see.
Let me ask you, have you received anything in the mail physically?
No, I've not yet gotten one single piece of mail. So interesting fact for you here, that every person in the United States, guess how many personalized letters they receive per year, or personalized mail of any kind. That's not an Amazon package. That's not your tax receipts. It's not spam mail.
4?
3.7.
Is it?
You're right there.
Love it.
So that's how many people, and they're almost always birthday and Christmas cards.
Yeah.
So if it was me, and I've actually done this because I do this to clients all the time, handwritten. You can actually go online and get like the $300 little machine, and it will write all the addresses and names and stuff out for you, so you don't have to do it physically, but it looks real. I would be doing that because guess what? Every single person opens a handwritten envelope. Nobody throws that with them. Nobody. Even if they don't know who you are.
I just thought about it because I was like, man, we're on the real estate topic. What have you been? And so I had to ask, like, has it happened? Cool. It hasn't yet, right?
So, and think about this. So the average age of a real estate agent, NAR statistics 2019, is 55 years and older. So that's your average is 55. Guess what? They're all gonna, and it's like 70% female. So they're gonna open them in. You send them a card, you send them a letter, you send them something. I would do that. You probably get a lot of conversations, and the target audience there is elderly agents that probably aren't super sophisticated.
Elderly agents. We gotta be careful on that one.
No, yeah.
They're gonna come in here. They got Facebook now. They want to see the grandkids. No, but for real. So what has been the most impressive that has happened to you?
That's a good question.
Clearly you weren't that impressed. Not too many are memorable, right?
The best one, and I can say this honestly because it's only one of 2 that I've actually bought that wasn't a course or something. Matt's $7 1-week challenge. That has by far everything I've seen. It was the one I bought. Didn't know anything about him. Didn't know anything. It was $7. He upsold me to 37. Then he upsold me to 537. But it got me in the door. He got me in the door one thing, and it was something that I got an email in a Facebook message or whatever it was every single day for a week. And because I paid $7, I actually showed up and did it. So I'll say, I'm not even kidding. Like, that is the one that has probably been the most impressive.
Yeah, and you know was that from the new real estate agents group?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, So anybody who's a marketer here, if you have, I know we talk about this in the course, or in the academy, but if you're not in there yet, we'll give you a little secret. $100, you go to the new real estate agents group. They let you market for like, what, 5 weeks or something, Shane?
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's like 2 posts a week for like 5 weeks. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know anybody who hasn't made their money back, because even if you don't get it in the first week, like, you'll figure it out as you go. You got like 5 weeks. You only need 1 post to blow up.
So let's hang on. And this hasn't. I'm sorry for everybody that's watching, because we're gonna go a little off topic here. And Matt and I don't get to talk a lot anymore. Matt's really busy. I'm insanely busy. And so Joe's sorry, but listen, like the 7-day challenge. You know, I remember doing, like, we did the 14-day challenge. We did the 7-day challenge with marketers, right? We built a whole different one again. It was pretty successful as well. And we're looking at updating the academy. There's been some talk about doing a V3, but there's a bunch of new stuff going into the academy before that. Right? And then there's been some recent discussion about building out a white labeled Facebook ads course to start, so that you can start selling to real estate agents. You know what we need to do? We should try to build out that 7-day challenge for real estate agents as a white labeled program, so that academy members can actually utilize it to attract real estate agents, to bring them into their ecosystem, into their funnels, and then push them the white label program that essentially pushes them onto their services. That's what we should be doing.
It's not a bad idea.
Think about that tonight.
You know what I love about the 7-day challenge? Right there. In the name of it, you just gave the expectations. Like, it gives you a timeline. It lets you know what's going to happen, and you're going into it. So even if the second they sign up, they know what they're signing up for. They're not signing up for a course that's going to say, go post these 5 things. It's literally just 7 days. You'll find out what I tell you to do for those 7 days. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
He doesn't let you skip forward. Like, he didn't let me like go to day 2 or 3. Like the first day, I can't remember what it was. It was something super simple and took 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was setting up your database, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, with 2 seconds. I had people messaging me like, I'm 6 hours in. How do I get this into MailChimp? No, but it wasn't very difficult, especially if you're familiar with any sort of tech. If you're not, you know what? You got to learn sooner or later. So it wasn't.
And it produced results. That was the craziest part.
What's that?
It produced results, right?
And I mean, we had one guy, he did like 25K in the 7 days. Joe, I mean, you got, I don't think you closed anything in the 7 days. We only had one person close something within 7 days, which was kind of a fluke. It's not designed for that, right? But I think you got a few pieces of business that were generated during the 7 days.
I actually ended up closing 2 the following year from that.
Yeah.
So it took like 8 or 9 months for both of them to come together and close. But I mean, it did work.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to that. If you are out there, it took 8 or 9 months from a week's worth of work. 8 or 9 months.
But again, what's so hard with real estate is that it's such a long sales cycle that you start, and what you do today, what I do today, besides like the working on the business, like the actual like prospecting, most of that I won't see for another 6 months. I won't see for another year. I have people still reaching out to me from stuff I did in 2018, let alone 2019. So 2020 is just holding on for the ride.
You know, and it's interesting, right? Because when it comes to prospecting like that, which 7 Day was, you know, partially prospecting, partially getting some systems set up and whatnot. You know, prospecting, a lot of people can't commit to 6 hours a day, right? They can't commit to 4 hours a day. They can't commit to 2 hours a day. But like, take for instance, like I just started running again, right? And I knew like I have this terrible habit when I run. When I start running, I'm like, I'm going to do like 4 or 5 miles. I'll be golden, right? I go out and do 4 or 5 miles. And then I'm like, forget that. I'm done. I'm done.
When did you start running?
What?
When did you start running?
A few days ago. And so I'm like, I'm going to do 20 minutes a day. That's it, right? 20 minutes. I'm just going to keep it super simple. I've had like a couple of friends I've talked to, they're like, oh, you should do that. I'm like, no, it's 20 minutes. I can walk, I can jog, I can run. It's 20 minutes. I'm moving, right? And you have to take that same approach with prospecting. in the beginning, like if you are just like super lazy and all you can commit to is 20 minutes, then do 20 minutes of hardcore prospecting, right? When I worked up to the most prospecting I was doing in a day, it was only 3 hours, right? Joe, how long does your routine take you? 20 minutes?
For like what I do every single day,
Yeah.
I have it down. It's super simple. I do literally 6 different tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them take longer than others. Like, some of them you can't, like talking to 20 people a day. Like that one, it does take time.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I did that before 9 o'clock this morning. And half of them I wasn't even in the office yet. But I just have certain things I do every single day. And because I've been doing them so much, I've gotten efficient at them. So I can do 5 or 6 things that were taking me 20 minutes. Now I can get them done in 20 minutes. So I set aside when I first come into my office, I have a routine. I read a little bit. I do set myself up for the day. I make my list, which I threw away already, but I write down all the things I have to get done that day, no matter what. And then when I start, before I look at emails, before I, start answering my phone again, I jump in there and do these 20 minutes, 25 minutes, give or take. On Thursdays, it takes a little bit longer. And then you're done. Then I can focus on my business. I can focus on other stuff. And if I have time, I'll jump back in and do some more. Or if like a prospect jumps out to me, but I just do those things every day.
Love it. I love it. And great segue. Because Sebastian says, what was the method that you mentioned? My connection got slow and I couldn't hear you. He asked you a while ago. We went over it. Let me find it. It was the most successful Facebook campaign you were using in your business? And you said right now you're not.
Yeah, right now. No paid ads at the moment.
Yeah, you're
about to get into a few. It's actually kind of sad, but I want to be more of the celebrity now than really about cost per lead. So I'm actually going to start running like some Instagram and Facebook ads, mostly Instagram, to build a follower base more than worry about the deals right now. Because I've got the deals down now. It's super selfish, but I just want to be known more by more people.
And you're really good at producing content too, right? I mean, if anybody goes and checks out your Facebook page, I mean, you're pretty active. You do quite a few videos. You used to do the tips and tricks videos as well.
Tuesday. Yeah, it's been super hit or miss. I've been extremely busy, but the thing is, if you start being consistent, like I was doing that. I was doing a 1-minute video every Tuesday about something in real estate. Didn't matter what. And I ended up stopped doing it because I got crazy busy and I was like, it wasn't really working. And I've literally had people reach out to me and be like, hey, are you still doing those? I haven't seen those in a while.
Interesting. So, people are watching. Hey, let me ask you this. Where did you come up? Because I think this is a big question that comes up a lot, and especially with agents that, like there are a lot of agents that want to start doing this, right? Like they want to produce more content, be more active on social media and so on. And obviously, you saw some benefits from it. Plenty of other agents are getting, seeing benefits from it. But there's always a question about like what kind of content, right? Like how do I come up with content? So how did you come up with your Tuesday tips? Is it just something that came to you magically, or is it like where you researched?
I knew I had to do a video of some kind because video content's the best because people, they see, it's Gary Keller, they see you so many times, you're in their mind share, right? Video is the best way to do that. And I was like trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I watched, there's another real estate agent that Matt had on, Daniel the Realtor, and he does a ton of Instagram stuff. He likes to do these little tip videos of, hey, this is what earnest money means. Hey, this is what title does, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, this is really good. The minute thing came because you can't post, if you post more than a minute to Instagram, you go to the IGTV and, you just don't, your viewers fall off. Right. Also, like you're talking about, like people want to hear something and then just move on. You start going over a minute, you're talking a really long educational video. I've got to think it out more. So it ended up just being kind of perfect to do a minute. And then I was like, well, I've got to have it branded in some way. And it's a tip video. I'm giving you a tip on real estate. So Tuesdays, tips, works together. It's like Whiskey Wednesdays or, something like that. But
Whiskey Wednesdays. That would have made sense.
I know, that would have made way more sense. Whiskey Wednesdays. Who picked Thursday? Who picked Thursday? Was that Austin way back in the day?
I
think it was.
don't remember. I think it was. Actually, you know what I think it was is because my wife went out to karaoke every Thursday, and so I was.
That's what it was. You were free. Yes.
And so I was like, I'm calling Shane.
Yeah.
Austin, we're talking marketing, right? Because I'm like, I'm gonna talk to people or something.
I remember this because this is season 2. Wait till we're like 10 seasons in, and we come back and they're like, so yeah, Matt's wife's karaoke schedule is what determined this whole thing.
Well, I think the funny thing too is that neither one of you or like Matt, you weren't drinking whiskey on Thursdays, and neither was I because I don't drink whiskey. I don't remember you drinking whiskey.
I mean,
I think part of that was Austin.
You can say no. I was drinking whiskey on Thursday.
Oh, you were? Okay. Maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah. No, I think everybody else was drinking wine.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
But I was drinking Fireball at the time, so I don't 100% call it whiskey, but it was what it was, right? No, let's see here. So Sebastian, yeah, we already got to that. Basically, you're doing the brand over brawn method. Let's see here. Ahmed says he ran a homes list 1 month, produced great results, $3 leads. Awesome. Ooh, this is a great question, Sean. I don't know if Sean's an agent or a marketer. Let us know, Sean. But he asked, why would someone go with you over another agent? And before we answer that, before we let you dive into that, if you guys are watching live, hashtag live down in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay down in the comments below. I know we get engulfed in all the information, all the things we're talking about. We stop commenting, but again, the more you comment, the more you engage, the more other people see this, which helps us, which keeps us doing the show. So be sure to be engaging.
Absolutely. And you know what? For anybody that's sorry, let me jump in there. Anybody that's watching right now, let us know where you're watching from. And just throw a comment out there. We'll give you a shout out or something. It's always nice to know who's watching, who's following, who's always here on Whiskey Thursdays. And what oh, when did he leave me?
Yeah, he's like, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
I said I'll be right back.
Okay. Where are you going?
What?
Middle of a show.
Refill.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I noticed you guys have not been consuming the way I have, so no judgment from you, I'd hope.
I am surrounded. You remember my box say from last week is getting pretty low.
Is it?
I have to go out for another box.
See, I'm drinking Monkey Shoulder tonight, which is a really good whiskey or scotch, blended scotch that I've been enjoying. But I also.
But hey, if you need to go refill your glass,
I'll be back.
We got Blake. What is up? Good to see you here. Watching here from Virginia. Nice to see you. Daniel, my
Sean
man.
says he just joined the course last week, or just got my first deal and joined the course.
Nice.
Dude, I love it, Sean. Glad you're here. We're definitely going to get into this, and you're going to like it. But in the meantime, I'll be right back. Go ahead.
So I'll get back to it. Daniel, what is up? Good to see you. Daniel Gonzalez here from Miami. Nice to see you on the show. Who else we got here? Sean's watching live. Thanks for tuning in. And Alexa, Matt's wife, is watching. Nice to see you, Alexa. Hello. And Ahmad here from Pakistan. And Mason from Columbus, Ohio. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in and letting us know where you're watching from. It's good to see everybody. So yeah, Joe, it's just me and you. This never happens. Typically, it's the three of us whenever we're chatting. So I don't even know where we were at. The videos and the tip videos and stuff like that. So what do you think? What are you planning on doing next in terms of like trying to like build up your brand, your authority inside of the market? What's sort of the next steps for you?
So my next big thing is actually giveaways. And I don't know why this went away. And I thought it was like demonetized by Facebook if you were doing like giveaway videos to get likes and shares and stuff. But I've seen a whole bunch of people start doing it again. And the like cost per view and stuff is super low. There was one video from a liquor store. They did a restaurant giveaway. There was a 2-minute video with them standing outside the restaurant, like talking to the chef. And they gave a $50 gift certificate away. They had over 700 shares, and that 35,000 views or something for $50.
Yeah.
And all it was like our Facebook page, comment somebody's name on this post, and share the post, and you'll be entered to win. and then in 5 days we'll announce the winner. And I was like, wow, that is huge. So
Yeah,
that's my next thing.
We used to do, so I have a client that does a lot of giveaways. We did a hockey, the best one we did were hockey tickets, and only because, you know, where we're at, it's hockey's a huge thing here. But I couldn't believe how many people want 2 tickets.
Yeah,
to
just
the hockey
imagine if they had a good team.
Really? You're joking, right?
Sorry, I'm just from
Great.
Way to like ram that in.
Dude,
Like,
I was like,
I was just like,
I just heard it as I was coming down. I was like, oh, I'm coming on this one. We got the Red Wings, man. One thing we got going for us.
It's we got the best teams ever. What do you think? Like we
It might be
practice
true. I don't know.
24/7, 365 days a week. We got ice outside. They make it here in the summer. Anyways.
Oh man, I love it.
I lost my train of thought now. Thank you, Matt.
Sorry. I heard you talking about hockey, and I was like, Toronto.
Oh no, the hockey ticket
right?
giveaways. Yeah, so like $50 for 2 tickets, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting thousands and thousands of comments on a business page. It was insane. That was the best one we've ever done. Instagram giveaways are pretty cool, and then pooled giveaways are pretty cool as well, where you basically, like as an agent, just reach out to all the businesses like in your area and say, hey, listen, I'm doing a giveaway. And then you basically capture all their audiences, which is really cool too.
really good tip right there. So yeah. I'm in a biz to biz, which is like a BNI. You get in a room with, you know, real estate agents and lenders and all this, whatever. There's like one person from each industry. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start with restaurants. And then because we're all like working together and sharing leads and stuff, which is a great thing to do. I'm going to start actually like using their services. Like one's a masseuse, one's does haircuts and manicures and pedicures and stuff like that. So like, I'm going to start with restaurants because I feel like that's the most like universal. And then I'll go to the other like niche industries and stuff. But again, then they promote it off their business pages.
Yeah. The pooled ones are cool because when you do like a group one, mm-hmm. your prize is essentially like, it could be like $5,000 worth of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a video giveaway.
End up getting like so many followers, like especially like on Instagram, especially, right? Like it works really, really well. Yeah. Just something to think about. And there's a few strategies out there, and Stephanie Deniki had a really good one.
That's right. You did that interview with her. That was really good.
Oh yeah. You saw that interview?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she shared some of the strategies around her. And then, so one of the guys that—
What group was that in? That was in
the COVID group for small businesses.
Okay.
I can share it. And if anybody wants to see it, I can share it. I'm sure she'll be happy that I'm sharing it inside of the big group.
It was a good episode.
Did you like that? Yeah.
Yep. I've watched a couple of those, and that was a really good one.
Yeah, she dropped a lot of good knowledge there. But anyways, one of the guys that bought her program actually went through like building out this giveaway strategy. And I think he ended up getting like 25 or 30 businesses all signed up, and they're basically just pooling all of their all of the offers, and he pitches it as a like, you know, $3,000 worth of prizes, right? Or whatever from all these businesses. Anyways, it's pretty cool on the way she does it and how she teaches it. Definitely worth taking a peek, but I'll shoot you over the interview.
What's her name?
Stephanie Deniki. Let's see here. Did we get into the? Did we get
tag her on Whiskey Thursday saying she's taking up half our show?
Right?
Yeah, she's another marketer. Used to do real estate marketing. She went AWOL. Decided she doesn't want to work with you guys anymore. So.
Well, I can't blame her. Oh my god.
I'm putting her name is Stephanie Deniki. ... So she'll have to come back and watch this now.
There you go.
But anyways, so did we get into the answer for why would someone go with you over another agent?
No, we actually didn't jump into that. We went off on other stuff.
Who wants to hear that answer? And if you're a marketer and your agent can't answer that question, pay attention, because you should be able to help them. You should be able to guide them, coach them, and get them there, because this is important.
Matt, you're gonna hate me for my answer.
Go for it.
I avoid the question. Like, this is the thing. Everybody worries about that question, right? When they talk to you. One, I don't mention other agents. Like you don't mention any other marketers, right? If somebody's talking to you, they're talking to you. If somebody asks me that question, one, I'm usually like, well, why are you sitting here talking to me? Like, why are you wasting my time if you're like, not thinking it's going to be for me? But I usually avoid it altogether. I haven't gotten that in probably almost a year now. And I look like I'm 19, right? Like, I put the hat on today, and like 8 people are like, Joe? I don't wear hats usually. And they're just like, man,
what brand is that? Is that Movement?
No, it's Mesa Fitness. It's where my gym.
Okay. Looks like the Movement Mortgage logo.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, I'm young. Obviously I haven't been doing this for 20 years like half the agents out there, and I don't get asked that question because when I sit down to talk with people, it's not cold calling. It's not, they're not usually interviewing me. I've already gotten past that because they know who I am, or I've already given them value. So like when I meet with people, I've already sent them to my lender. They're already pre-qualified. I already know that they're ready to go. So meeting me is a formality. I go through all the steps like I was describing earlier to actually get that rapport built so they'll use me. But I've already established the Shane's, subject matter expert. I'm the guy. I went to a listing appointment and she said 3 times during it, oh yeah, we're going to use you. I love your energy. I love all this stuff about you. I never had to mention there's other agents or what I do specifically. I mean, I mentioned all the stuff I do, but I didn't say I do this that other agents don't do. Except for the groups. I do say I do that and nobody else has that because I know that's unique. But that's totally different. So no, I avoid that question like the plague. By the time they get to me in person, I'm pretty much not interviewing. So I just avoid that question.
I love it. But you don't always have to answer every question. Cheat code. Write it down.
And then I say something like, well, I mean, I've only been in the business 2 years and I do more business than 95% of the other agents out there. I'm doing something right. That usually shuts them up too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Matt, you're a licensed agent. How would you answer that?
If somebody said, why would I use...
Why should I use you, Matt? Look at the hair.
Yeah.
I would probably say something like, why are we talking right now? And I'd put it back on them. I don't know. Why are we talking right now? You clearly had a problem. You clearly have me at your house for a reason. Mm-hmm. So what did you look up? What did you find? And why am I here?
Yeah.
I'd put it back on them. And that's, with expireds, why should we use...
You called me 50 times.
Well, that's what I was going to say. With expireds, you go out there and they say, why should I use you? Number one, I'm going to get your house sold for the most amount of money. I'm going to do it in the shortest amount of time. And then when they say, well, how do I know you can do that? I would have my stats with me and I would show them, look, here's my average days on market. Here's the average agent in our market's average days on market. Here's my average list price, original to sales price, not just list to sales price, right? Because everybody can knock your price down and go $5,000 down every week until somebody gets you an offer, right? And then they say, you know what? Just in case we need any backup offers, let's drop it another $5K. And they drop it below your accepted offer, right? But if you look at my original list price to ask price, it is 98.2% or whatever it was at the time. It was between 98 and 103 typically, because we had a hot market and we get above average asking. But I would show them, like, here is my average sales price to original. That does not mean that I'm going to knock you down month after month to lower prices until we finally sell. This means that I get it right the first time more than anybody else. And I would show them the original list price to sales price ratio between other agents in the market on average. And typically it was like an 8% difference. And then I would charge them more money than what they were paying any other agent in the local market.
So what Matt's talking about is he's talking about coming from a position of knowledge. He's going to give you all these statistics. He's going to blow you out of the water because he knows his business. All right. So when he's giving you all that stuff, that's what he's talking about. So if you're a marketer, you're like, yeah, I know the average cost per lead is this or it's this, but depending on where that is, know your market, know your industry, and then you're coming from a place of, one, authority because you know your stuff. Two, you actually sound intelligent, and that's going to help you along the way. And then three, then you hit them with the, and why do you think we're talking? Because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, well, the other thing, let me interrupt him. The other big thing here, sorry, that I really like is you're talking numbers. Numbers never lie.
right?
Right. And that's the
That's
other
high
big
fee.
thing, right? And as a marketer, if you want to talk, like when you're talking to real estate, talk numbers.
Yeah.
Stop talking about features. Don't talk
Well,
about
and that's
like the latest and greatest ads, and talk numbers, because
You don't
numbers
give
never
your
lie.
unique selling position a brand that you can stand behind.
right.
What is a unique selling position? Okay, I don't care. Oh, I got a better logo. Great, awesome. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I rarely ran into the brand thing that we had to overcome. I mean, had, reasons to overcome why you'd work with my brokerage over another brokerage, but usually like I was trying to bring it back to myself, right? Not the brokerage. Like I didn't want that to matter. Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is I worked with people differently. Like that would probably be my go-to response, because if somebody's asking that, they're most likely a detail-oriented person, right? They're not a high D, right? So the first thing I ask when I walk in the door, so you guys excited to get your home on the market with me today? Right? I just asked that, and I
Then you
smile.
pause, and then you pause.
And you wait, and you use the silence, right? And you're either going to get a yes or not yet. Nobody ever said, no, we're not ready to get the home on the market. No. They said, we'll see, right? And they would smile or whatever. But I could gauge, like, how is this appointment going to go? What is my level of difficulty going into this, right? And so when you ask that question, when you walk in the door and you set the stage, like, you know what you need to say when you go in there. And then you get to see, like, all right, number one, if I've already got the listing, like, I'm going to make this a quick one so that I can get back and get some Qdoba. Number two, if it's not going to be a quick one, I'm going to figure out, like, what kind of person is this? Well, we're interviewing 2 other agents. One is local to the area. The other is a top salesperson, and we see their commercial. Like, you see what's important to them. They tell you. They give you that information, right? Like, this
But if
person's
you don't
local.
ask. Oh, you can always ask. What's important to you?
Yeah. Well, I ended every presentation, and I'm pretty sure you're doing the same thing now, Joe, is I ended every presentation with, is there anything any other agents or anybody said that I forgot to mention, right? And I put it off there like, is there anybody, am I forgetting to mention that anything that anybody else ever said? Right?
It's
Not
mine's
like,
very, very similar to that. I have
Yeah.
to say, is there anything I have not covered that you wanted to cover or that you want me to address before I leave?
yeah. See, and you got to remember, the other thing is I was not doing nearly as much Facebook leads as I was doing expires, right? So
Yeah.
my fight was always against other agents.
You were going like head first into traffic.
Yeah, it was always a competition, right? Facebook leads are amazing. You get there 6 months before they're ready to go. That's amazing, right?
Well, this is what everybody's a marketer, so you'll understand this. This is what I would tell everybody when they're talking to someone. I'm going to get you these leads that no one else is talking to because they're so far up the stream, they haven't even gotten to the place where they're ready yet. So you're going to be the person that can talk to them for the next 6 months for when they're ready to buy. So you don't have the competition. Because what's happening is you're seeing it more and more. Social media, you're catching them here because down here is where they're actually like going through homes list ads. Oh, here's where they actually go into Google. Here's where they're talking to the people that tell them, oh yeah, we use Judy down the street, You want to get them before they're talking to anybody while they're still coming down that stream.
Yeah.
That's what Facebook is. It's catching fish before they're full grown.
Yeah. And like you take them home, you put them in the tank, you let them chill until they're ready to eat.
Yep.
I love
That's
that.
basically what it is, man.
And here's the other thing. Sometimes you catch those ones so far up the stream, they're ready to buy now. They just weren't thinking it. Especially with first-time home buyers that don't know if they qualify. If you're the first person that they talk to and the first person that gets them into it, you're golden.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and you made a good point too. Like, part of, being, we talked about it a little bit earlier, which was sort of that process of what you have to go through when you're selling homes, right? Is that like you could be selling a home or you could have a prospect that's ready to go, and all of a sudden next week, they're no longer your client because guess what? Like they talk to their cousin that's their aunt's a real estate agent. Like, and that's a real problem, right? And it's one of the nice things about Facebook leads is that you can get in front of them before anybody else does because they are so far up in the in a funnel, right? So
Well, and you can even make mistakes. Like they might see your first thing and click on it, But if you're doing like we talked about that consistent follow up, again, they might not have been in the spot the first time, but the third, the fourth, the fifth time they see your face, hey, that's the guy you're gonna call. It's the same effect as a bus bench that everybody wants to happen, but it's way more cost effective and you can be a lot more aggressive with it.
I actually think it's a little bit more I look at, so personally, I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of look at the bus benches as like the low of the low. I mean, it's the fucking garbage cans.
Oh no, he said it's exactly
like they're literally garbage cans, right?
No, he said it's exactly what you want the bus bench to be.
No, no, but what Joe is doing is the videos, right? It's a
yeah,
completely different thing. You keep building rapport on bus benches.
Well, you have to think before you're talking. This is like dinosaur technology is a bunch of
challenge accepted,
right? Because when you think about it, is before there was TV commercials, there was radio, there was print advertising like the newspaper or magazines, and then the only other way to get in somebody's face all the time was to put a billboard up or put it on a park bench. If this was 1991, go for it, man. It's probably going to work.
Well, okay, I will say that. I'm going to say this, though. Combine bus benches with lawn signs, bus stops, and like that's powerful, right? Because like when I drive in my neighborhood here, there's one agent. Yeah. One agent. She owns the neighborhood. She just sold a house down the street. She sold my neighbor's house. She's making a killing. She owns all the bus benches everywhere. And her lawn signs are all over the place, right? The combination of that is very, very powerful. But for a new agent that can't compete with that, like one bus bench at $300 a year is not going to cut it.
Oh, no.
You know, that's not going to cut it, right? But combine the bus bench maybe with some videos and some retargeting ads and things like that, then you know you're going to get a little bit of traction, right? But the videos specifically, because you can actually build all that rapport with somebody.
So it's like you're talking about, it's a pillar that you can put in your business if you want to do it that way, where you put in, you know, a billboard, or you put in whatever that kind of stuff is. But you're not going to get the phone calls from it. It's not going to like be a lead generation. It's like we have one of the biggest teams in the country. Actually, they were number 30 last year in the country, and they do local TV spots. They do all kinds of radio ads. I'm hearing them all the time. They do billboards. They do all that kind of stuff, right? But they're pumping out a huge amount of money, and they also know that what they're running, you know, 10 years ago is still paying off because people have heard them for 10 years. So if they're doing stuff like that, it's not a return on investment today. It's a return on investment for the next 10 years. And that's, if they're going to do that kind of stuff, you're talking major dollars.
I think there's a bit of an ego thing there too.
I'm getting there.
He's not even a client. He's just a friend. He's a licensed real estate agent. Doesn't even sell homes anymore. But he's had the same bus bench for the past 20 years. Yeah. He's like, I just want to see my face there when I drive by. It's like, you know, it costs him $300 a year, $600 a year, or whatever it is. And it's just like, I just want to see my face there. You know, I own this. This is my neighborhood. I own this place.
Real estate agents have egos. They love them stroked, and they love to see their face everywhere.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and I mean that, you know, you mentioned it earlier, but you're basically using the brand over brawn method. So tell us a little bit about that, and then I want to get more into some stuff with the academy.
So brand over brawn, not to give too much away, obviously, but you're trying to create that. You know, I know everybody's heard this, the local celebrity effect, right? You want to be known in your community for what? Real estate, if you're a real estate agent. For marketers, obviously, you're doing it across probably a lot bigger area, or you're doing it very niche and specific, either way. Yeah. But the local celebrity effect is, you know, and this goes into Gary Keller and lead generation, all this other stuff, is that you want to be seen so much in this one particular area that when somebody thinks about real estate, they only have enough space in your brain to think about a few things at a time, or know a few industries at a time. So if I say, hey, name 5 kinds of potato chips, you might be able to get 3, 4, maybe even 5. Maybe you love potato chips. If I say name 7 kinds of soda, you can probably do that. Well, you're going to leave some off that you have had before or whatever. If I ask you how many plumbers you probably know 1, maybe 2, unless you're in that industry or something. Mm-hmm. Real estate agents do the same thing. You're going to know 1 for sure that you're going to hear all the time or see all the time or know from a friend, family, all that kind of stuff. There might be a second one. Unless you're in an industry, you probably don't know a third one, okay? So you want to be that number 1, possibly number 2, but the number 1 would be better, all right? The local celebrity effect is getting you into that mind share of more people than you could by just talking. All right.
Yeah.
So social media is how you leverage that. We do a ton of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I do Snapchat because I get a lot of friends on there, and that's a great way to do it. And it's basically just putting out content, getting people to see that content, so when they see you, they'll notice you, they know who you are. Mine's super simple, Joe the Realtor. Everybody sees that on everything. A whole bunch of my friends now introduce me as that. They're like, oh, hey, this is Joe the Realtor. And it's like self-promotion that I don't have to do myself, which is awesome.
Yep.
But if I go out to restaurants, I almost always see somebody that wants to talk to me. Most of the time I don't know who they are because they're following me on social media. I've gotten stopped at bars. I've been bought drinks. I've been I had a restaurant owner come up and talk to me one time, and she was like, hey, I see your posts all the time. It's so good. You should do a video in here sometime. And like that kind of stuff. It really does start paying off. And then like the last listing appointment, this is why I don't get this question anymore, why am I using you? Is that she reached out to me on my business page and she was like, hey, I see your stuff all the time. You have great energy. We're trying to sell a rental property. When's a good time for you to come look at it? Awesome. Responded right back. Went over. She told me 3 times during the listing appointment, we're using you. I love your energy. Okay. I've never met this woman, never talked to her, but she sees my content. And after that, she felt comfortable with me, which means by just putting out content, I built rapport with somebody that I've never met. That's what we're talking about doing. So that's really, there's a lot of ways to do it, but you're trying to build a big audience and you're trying to build rapport with that audience. So those are the things to do. You see a lot of agents do this when they put out just listed and just sold and this happy couple and all this stuff. But part of it's doing that, part of it's doing more relatable stuff, and then it's just being seen by a bigger audience. I know a guy in my office. He does amazing videos, better videos than I've ever even come up with. He spends 4 or 5 hours, goes shoots his video, edits, it sounds perfect. He gets 74 views a video. Like I watch it all the time, and I'm like, man, this is a great video.
Yeah.
I'm getting 20 times the audience because I grew my audience and I pushed that. The Gary V's method, right? You'll get better at content by putting it out there, but just get a bigger audience. So that's kind of like brand over brawn, kind of in a nutshell, I think.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So hang on, before we get into anything else, let's talk about TikTok. I'm always fascinated about TikTok. So what do you do on TikTok?
What I do?
You have a special dance or something, or what do you got?
How has it been going? Because we talked a little bit about this, but I know you started getting into it a little bit more, kind of testing some stuff. I'm seeing you pop up.
Yeah, so I'm mostly just doing gym videos.
Yep.
Because I do so much real estate stuff on the other side, and I've been doing 2-a-days, and it's there's a whole nother side of that kind of stuff. But I've been working out a lot, so I've been posting that kind of content to TikTok, just because I'm not going to do a dance and whatever.
Come on, Joe.
No, it's not in me. Can't do it. But it's just another way to build an audience.
Yeah, and you know what? That's not a bad thing either, right? You're a real estate agent, but you also have a passion for gyms and working out and stuff like that. Like you said, you're essentially building up a whole new audience at that point, of people that, might just follow you and just interested in what you're doing. And eventually maybe, one person reaches out to you, wants to buy a house.
My favorite feature about TikTok is that you can share it and the music shares with it. So if you post like any music or anything on it, so I can do that on Instagram, but if I try to post that to Snapchat or Facebook, the music goes away. If you do it on TikTok, you can post it to all the platforms. The music stays.
Ah, I see. It's true. There you go. Well, with that said, Matt, I think this is our TikTok segment, right? We do on Whiskey Thursdays.
That's right. All right.
So for everybody watching, we typically, out of the blue.
What should be the question for Joe?
I don't know. Guys, what do you think should be the question for Joe here for TikTok?
What's the most lethal question we can ask right now? I think lethal.
Yeah.
There's the term. Like,
whoever's watching, let us know if you got a specific question you think we should be asking Joe here for TikTok.
Can you play like the Jeopardy music?
Ooh, he wants to get music going. Okay.
So Blake's asking, what's your name on TikTok?
Joe the Realtor.
Getting another follower.
Joe the Realtor.
Boom! There you go. Growing by 1. Let's see. So, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the 15. So let's see, 15 seconds. Yeah, flip it.
What's the question?
And what is the question? I don't know, guys. What do you think? What question should we be asking Joe? What's a killer question that we can get out here right now?
You're a marketer. You're about to call somebody. You want to know what's in our head. What is in an agent's head? Ask me something that you would like to know.
We'll do rent.
I love that question. I love that question.
Duck-sized humans, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. I mean, if we're looking at it for real right here.
It's like a whole bunch of 1-year-olds running around. Like, I can take them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like winning a daycare fight. You got this.
What's it? Billy Madison?
Yeah.
Playing dodgeball, just like knocking kids over.
Oh man, I love that question came up. Anybody else? Another question? If not,
No, let's use that one. That's perfect.
Okay. All right.
Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go.
Move on.
All right, we're gonna do the 15-second one because that's a really quick question. So,
yeah.
Hang on, let me get me. What's going on? We are live for another episode of Whiskey Thursday with Joe Silzell. Joe, we have a great question for you. Question is, would you rather fight 50 duck-sized humans or 1 human-sized duck? Hang on.
No. You ready?
Ready? And go.
I would rather fight 50 duck-sized humans because it would be like Billy Madison, and I would just be dodgeballing those kids out of here.
I wasn't able to get the whole thing, but I got your answer. We're gonna do it.
Brent, thanks so much for the question. That was a lot of fun.
I love that question. Oh man, but anyways, if you guys have questions about Brandon Verbraun, go ahead and message me. That is currently closed, but there are applications available. But anyways, Joe, you got into the Academy program, which is the flagship program for this group. And things kind of changed because you and I were working together, and then like you got into the group, right? And you got into the network inside of the Academy, and you got into training with myself and Shane. And I mean that's like your business was kind of already off to a trajectory, but I'd like to think that played a big role in it as well.
Oh, definitely. So
tell us a little bit about that.
So much of it comes from just, once you gain knowledge, like I'm going through the course, talking to you guys, is that you start building that momentum. And I know I've heard Matt's voice a million times because I know you're going to hear it in the course a million times, is you have to be consistent. You have to keep doing the things, even if you don't want to do them, because that's how you end up getting it, right? And I can't tell you how many times. So Matt would always tell me, like, as a real estate agent, you're riding this roller coaster. Hey, you get a couple deals, then you have like no time. Then you get a couple deals. And for marketers, I know it's the same way. Hey, you got a couple clients, and after 2 or 3 months, they go away. And so you have to go get another couple clients, and they go away. So you have to put out time to get those clients, keep those clients, know that they might fall off. So you're working to get more clients. So you're not doing this, you just go up and then you just keep going, whether it's, going up or you're just staying even. So what you got to do is you always have to be prospecting. You always have to be putting your systems in play. I mean, I'm trying to grow my business. I know you guys are always pushing to grow your business. So that's something you have to do. Then the other things like leveraging my time. So I do Matt's time blocking. I still do time blocking. I still do stupid lists on, hey, this is the things I have to get done today.
I love when he says Matt's time blocking. I'm like, I don't remember the time blocking thing. I'm gonna have to go back through the course.
You don't remember the time blocking?
I have to go back through the course.
Even like we're talking today, hey, putting 20 minutes aside to do something, you're gonna have to do it. So marketers, you're no different than us. You have to get new clients all the time because if you're not growing, you're dying. So put 20 minutes aside to work on, how you're going to talk to them or role play. Hey, you got to put 20 minutes aside to actually reach out to those people you've talked to once and we're kind of cold and we're really there, or it's whether it's cold calling or it's however it is, you have to put time out. Shane, I know you probably spent hours and hours and hours going over your presentations when you did events, right?
Yeah, especially one of them. There was a really big one that I did for brokers, that, yeah, I mean, you would, I spent probably a good week building it out, and then days of rehearsing and practicing. And even I remember the drive there, crazy story. Drive there, I left my dress shoes at home. I ended up having to stop at the mall, like in like this random town, trying to find a pair of dress shoes. But the entire time I had my notes and I'm practicing right up to the point of where I actually stood up on the stage and gave my presentation.
And don't you felt better when you were giving it? And I guarantee it was a much better presentation because you didn't.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing. When you get chances to be in front of people, you need to capitalize them. So you need to be prepared. Like we're talking about, it costs money to be in front of people or time, whichever one it is. So you need to do that preparation. And how you do it, because we're all busy. Guess what? When I was doing 2 deals, I thought I was super busy. When I got 10 under contract, I feel like I'm super busy. Eventually I'll have 20 under contract at some point, and I'll be like, wow, I feel like I'm super busy. You're always gonna feel busy, but you have to put the time aside. I just remember I had calls with Matt where I put time aside to do that. And guess what? If you carve it out, you'll find it. I'm working, like I think last week I literally sat down and I worked 75 hours in a week. I still was going to the gym twice a day, every single day. Why? Because I made it a priority. Yeah. So if you do that, granted, I'm a little extreme. Like obviously, like don't be me all the time. Like don't give blood just to give blood and all that. But
everybody should give blood.
Oh, everybody should give blood.
Everybody should give blood.
Got
plenty.
Using plasma to get Facebook ads. Whatever you.
I can't wait till we get a story here of somebody selling their blood to jump into the academy.
That'd be epic.
But, yeah. I don't know that I want to encourage it.
Come on, first person. I think we should, like first person that does that. We should just if they can prove that they did that, we should just give the academy to them. We'll refund them.
It.
First person.
We should do a giveaway soon with the academy.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Right? We haven't done an academy giveaway in a while.
Nah, we haven't.
We should.
I think
do you think, guys? Should we do it? Should we do it sometime soon? Let us know. Anyways. There's like academy members who be like, no, you need to raise the prices. We don't want the market saturated. Oh man, no, that's not really how they are. The private group is super giving, and everybody honestly.
Well, let's talk about that. All right, so you go, and if you're smart, you'll do this today. You'll actually go purchase the academy. You'll purchase brand over brawn. You'll purchase this stuff because it's 100% worth it. Like it's ridiculous. But here's the thing, even doing that. Matt, Shane, you guys can tell them how many hours of content are there in the course.
In Brand Over Brawn?
No, in the big course.
In the big course, how many hours? Oh my gosh! Well, in Brand Over Brawn, there's 7 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
In the academy, there's 170 maybe. Or
no,
70.
Calm down.
No, I didn't mean 170. I meant 70 or 100. I don't know. There's a lot of.
I don't know. There's.
Oh, okay. Let's just say it's 50 hours, right?
There's more. So let's put it this way. There's more content than you can absorb. There's no way. There's nobody. There's only been one person that's absorbed almost, because I can track it. Right, I'm looking at it right now. There's only one person that's actually watched every single video all the way to the end. It's not possible. Most people just don't watch it just because they start getting results within the first little while. So it's there's more content than you need.
50 hours and you want to watch 20 of them in the next month, you have to set aside time to do that.
Yeah.
And you have to make a conscious effort. So the first thing you have to do, get your credit card out, go buy it. Second thing you have to do is
Russell Brunson over here.
is do it like Matt's talking about. Hey, I'm going to run for 20 minutes. You know what? No, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock when there's no distractions, nobody's calling me, no emails, whatever I have to do, and I'm going to sit there, and for 1 hour, I'm going to do this. Okay?
Man, it's getting intense. I feel like I'm on the Jocko podcast.
Exactly. But that's what it should be. But this is the kind of thing. This is what's going to separate you from the rest of the people. This is what separated me from my competition. And I know it for a fact, is that I work more hours. Now, you don't have to work more hours. You just have to be more efficient with the hours worked. So that's where you should get to. This course is going to do that for you, but you are going to have to spend time to actually learn. And do us all a favor. Don't go watch the first hour, the intro, and then be like, hey, I got this question about this, and this. Actually go watch the content. Because guess what? It is in there. And granted, the community is amazing. They will reach out to you. They will help you. They'll tell you what videos to go watch. They'll tell you where to go find that information. So if you do have questions, don't feel bad about that. But do the world a favor and go watch 10, 15, 20 hours. Spend 2 weeks, spend a month researching it before you just start asking the random questions, because you're gonna find the content in there. You just need to actually go regurgitate it.
Yeah,
Sorry. I just get all the time, and I'm like, man, if you'd watched episode number 3,
we'll send your check in the mail. Thanks.
It's funny,
Thanks,
like, right?
Like, guys, I want everybody to know I don't get paid for this. I'm doing this. I literally got done with showings. I'm spending 2 hours here tonight because I love these guys, and they do so much good. Okay, I'm not talking about butt. He's not actually sending me a check. Okay, they do amazing work. All right. You should be doing this. If you're in this market or you want to be a marketer, hey, take the same philosophy and go do it with something else if you don't want to be in this. But I'm telling you, their methods work. They do a great job. So go do it. But if you're going to do it the right way. Put the time in, put the effort in, actually make the calls, do all that. Because Matt, how many times does it happen? It happens a couple times a week.
No, I mean this week like 2 or 3 times where people are like, hey, what about this? And I'm like, did you watch this module? You know, like, because they reach out. Shane, how you get it?
I just think I want to. Yeah, I get it. Of course, I get it. And part of the problem.
No. I don't mean like you get it. You understand it. I mean like you get the message, the private messages too.
No, that's what. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I get the messages. But I think the reality is, Matt. I think you're a lot like me too. The reality is, we want to help as many people as possible, right? So I don't remember the last.
Go into the group.
Watch this.
Go into the group. You'll see. There's somebody that asks a question, and Matt or Shane always responds. And then there's probably 4 or 5 other people, because it's a great community. They'll be like, hey, man, try this. Hey, man, I'll jump on a call with you. Hey, I'll do this. It happens. I see it all the time.
Yeah, lately I've been like, if the answer's there, I've been just hearting it, because I'm like, I can't put it into better words. Like, these feel like my words. This is exactly what I would be saying. So, I don't know.
Well, that's probably because you did on the video, or Shane did.
That's true. It could be because of that, or we have really awesome people in there. So that's a definite.
Well, yeah, and that's a really cool thing about the I mean, not just the academy too, even the REMCM group, members inside of that group is the guys that really understood, like that grasped the concepts and understood a lot of, whether it was some of our master classes or the academy or whatever it was, right? Some of these guys have just modified and adapted things, and they figured things out. And now they're like part of this ecosystem where they're adding the extra value. And it's like, hey, this is what I figured out. This is what, what works for me. I mean, for Christ, we had, who was it? Is it Mike King? Is that his name? Mike King basically laid out, like, I mean, the idea of doing video for like, ever since the issues with the targeting, right? Where you could only target around 15 miles or so. And this idea of like, hey, listen, run video to build out your audience, right? So you basically run a video that has nothing to do with selling a home. And this has been a strategy like a lot of us are using. I don't use it a whole lot, only because like you can still get results without it. But in certain markets and with certain types of real estate agents, specifically luxury, it's very, very difficult. So this, one of our academy members, Mike, like I think it's Mike King, right, that did that. Basically, record a whole video on like how to do this. Like, here's the targeting, here's what I'm trying, here's what I'm doing, right? And this is what we're seeing inside of our, like the private group, but also inside of our big group too. We get guys sharing stuff all the time, and I think it's really, really cool. But I really think that really stems from like Matt and I being so open about the shit we're doing, right? So, and just the fact that like this
one of those posts you put up a while back, it was like, what's your best working ad? I'll share mine. And you shared an amazing ad that wasn't, I don't know if it was in the course or not. And then there were probably 10 other people that messaged their ads.
Oh yeah. So that's the that's 200. There's 240 comments on that ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the one inside the academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It still pops up. I still see it pop up every now and then.
What's that?
I still see it pop up because other people are commenting and talking about
Every
it.
once in a
and I
while.
tag people all the time. Yeah, for anybody that's
Luke
inside.
Shankula says, "What's up?" Actually, he said, "Sup, sup." Still, I think he meant like, "What's up?" Same thing, right? Ahmed says, "Do it, please." He must be talking to when we said we haven't done a giveaway in a while. We did a giveaway. What was it? Was it like Christmas when we did that giveaway? Shane?
No, that was Black Friday, right?
I don't remember. We did one in the bot. We did it with Pat Friedel's bot, his killer bot, the giveaway bot. That's like so.
No, we gave away the academy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying we did it using that. That was the bot that we. Yeah, I know you don't log into ManyChat, but we used Pat's bot. It was really cool. But anyways, I don't remember when it was, but we did one. Maybe we should do one soon. We'll have to see if there's a lot of demand. If we got a ton of people that are trying to get into the academy and they can't afford it, or they're just not there yet, or maybe they're just not sure or whatever, but they want in, then
we need to make a post that's like how you can afford this course. You can sell blood, you can sell other parts of yourself, you can get a second job, you can, ask for money, you can get a loan, you can take out a credit card, like
credit card. This is probably the easiest way.
Probably the easiest way.
Well, I mean, we do it through PayPal credit now, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Go get a business loan. Do it.
You know what's funny? When I got my first real estate coach, he told me about like how he took out this $75,000 like real estate loan, and I was small business. I think it was like small business loan to get started with marketing and all this stuff, and blah blah blah. And then he just had me do prospecting the whole time. Like I was so on board. I'm like, sweet, we can pay for all the business. This sounds great. And then he's like, but instead, I'm gonna teach you how to do expireds and for sale by owners. And I was like, dang. I guess it is what it is. I mean, it worked, but I mean, it'd be nice if you could just buy the deals, which apparently now you can, right? Apparently now you can. You buy the leads, you work the leads, close deals.
Well, it's interesting because if you're talking to an agent, it'd be like, how are you going to go get a real estate, somebody looking to buy real estate today, right? Just ask a random person. This is awesome because people always tell me my job's super easy. Ask them how to do that. And they'll be like, I don't know. And then you ask a coach how to do it. What do they tell you? Expireds, for sale by owners, door knocking, cold calling, print mail. Now social media is taken off, but that's like half the agents don't use it. Half the agents don't know how to use it. They're not using it correctly or like efficiently anyway. These are what the agents are being taught. Go show them what you can do with this, right? You can buy deals now. Yeah. If I go spend $1,000 on Facebook ads, I'm going to get a deal out of it. Unless I'm just throwing my money away or I'm not calling the leads or not doing one of the 100 things you have to do to close the deal. But you can do that. You can turn it on and on by just paying money to Facebook and just taking leads and just selling houses.
Yeah.
Well, your job is to do that for them, but to make them extremely profitable so they keep paying you.
Oh my goodness. Joseph Shayowitz says, is that Joe Silzell? Joseph, what is going on, man? It has been a minute.
I was on a call with him like 2 months ago. I talked to him for a while.
I have not heard from him in a while. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's good.
So let me interrupt 2 seconds just for people that are inside of the academy, especially those of you that are new. This is the post that you'll find inside of the private group. Oh,
snap, you're sharing it.
What are you going to do? You can't see nothing, right? I great. You saw one of my ads here. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, so that's the hashtag there you need to use. And if you have access to the private group, it's like everybody's ads, like what's working, right? Everybody's got their best ads. They're basically posting them here.
REMCM ad example.
Sorry, it took me a while to find it because I thought it was like REMCM Academy. I got to remember this one, but yes, it's basically 256 comments here with everybody's including ours, right? So our ads, whatever's working, and then a bunch of other people that are posting inside of this. And if you're part of the academy, share. Like, this is the post you need to share on, right? It's been a little while since anybody shared their work in ads. And it's all about, the community and being able to, like, if you're sharing, right? If you're giving, other people will give, right? Just remember that. So if you're part of the academy inside of the private group, this is the post that you'll be able to find, and that's the hashtag to find it with. See, I found a use for hashtags.
There you go. Hashtag value in here. Yeah.
What's that?
Hashtag value, man.
Oh, we tried to do that for a minute. What was it? Hashtag Golden Nugget?
Yeah.
Well, that's for academy members, right? So not really for, whoops, I better stop sharing before I share some stuff I don't want to share.
Curtain closed.
Done that mistake on a Zoom.
Somebody's like, recording.
I was on that Zoom.
Yes, you were. Anyways, let's move on.
Anyway.
You don't want to get into that.
Oh man.
Thursday getting crazy.
Where were we?
I don't know. We're sharing just some academy stuff, right?
So have you tested TikTok ads? Now, I answered this personally. I said, not for real estate. I do see it as working for e-com right now. Real estate, I don't know if it's there yet. Joe, what are your thoughts?
I think it's like Snapchat. If you're trying to do e-commerce, you're gonna have a younger audience, and now with PayPal and credit cards online and Apple Pay, kids will buy stuff, and their parents will be fine with it. But like older audiences, real estate ads.
Dude, I use here's one of our routines at night. Okay, dude, I'm 45 years old, right? I'm gonna be Hey, so by the way, just anybody that's watching, I'm gonna be 45 years old next week, right? Anybody needs my address, any gifts or anything like that, let me know.
Where's your OnlyFans account? Don't you have a Patreon, Shane?
No, I don't. No. You fill me in on that. So yeah, so I'm 44, right? 45 next week. My wife's 35, and like one of our routines, or like her routines, to watch TikTok. But I love going like in the room. I sit down next to her and I'm like, "Hey, show me the TikTok stuff," right? So like I think like TikTok's fun for everybody. In fact, I got so addicted to it, I ended up having to get it up. Like I had deleted it off my phone because it's like I'm wasting 2 hours of my life every day.
Their algorithm's so good, you just start seeing content you just like. And it just
it's nuts. I couldn't believe how addictive it was, right? So I think that the idea of like, I might agree that Snapchat might have been a little bit for a younger audience, maybe a different type of demographic.
They're growing, like they're getting older.
But I think TikTok, man, that's for anybody, right? Yeah. I like, even like we're talking about like, hey, let's do some TikTok movies, like whatever, right? We're doing them here on Whiskey Thursday. I think the demographic is much larger for TikTok.
I think it's growing too. Like there's a lot more users.
For sure.
Just little kids.
It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening over the next little while.
Yeah. Cool. 100%. We are actually 5 minutes after 10, so we're way past, not way past, we're 5 minutes past where we usually aim for to be done by. But anyways, if you guys have questions, last minute questions for Joe, let us know real quick. Obviously, he's a huge fan of the Academy. Obviously, he tells you, go jump in there as soon as possible.
Give Shane a happy birthday,
Thanks, Joe. That's so nice of you.
Oh,
I've got a question, though, for people watching. Guys, if you know any hair salons in the Detroit area, shoot over a message for Matt. We got to take care of the Bart Simpson hairdo.
Yeah, something near...
like, look what's going on, right? It's kind of like the Bart Simpson... Yeah.
It is rough.
Mad scientist over here.
What do you got going on under that hat, Joe?
Oh, it's super long for me.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Marine with the long hair here.
Oh no, I got my summer hair going on. Yeah.
California.
Oh, I wish. I've been trying to go to the beach since January, and then COVID happened. So.
Oh, I know.
It's rough. Oh my God.
It's been rough. But I'm not seeing any other questions in here at the moment, which tells me people must be finally outside because it's nice out for like the first time forever, at least if you're in Michigan. But yeah, so that must be what's going on. I'm sure people are going to come back on. They're going to have questions. We'll try and get to them the best we can. But if you guys want your questions answered, you got to be live when we are on live with Whiskey Thursday. So, Joe, any parting words, any advice for marketers or agents who are getting into this space right now?
Get a haircut.
Get a haircut. Look for, be professional, look professional. But like we've talked about, you have to have the knowledge. And if you want a shortcut, if you want to be that guy that's like, I just want to figure out something to do so I actually know what to do, go buy the course, get into it, and then you'll know what to do. And then you don't have to worry about it. Like, so invest the money, invest the time, jump into it, and then you'll know what to do. Like, I can't say any better than they say in the course. I can't give you some secret nugget that's not in there.
Sure can. Sell some blood if you don't have the money.
There you go. Sell some blood, call bank of parents, like do whatever you got to do. Get into the course. Trust me, every week they have, 1, 2, 3 people that want to come on here to say how much money they made. And everybody who's making $10, $15, $20,000 a month because they're using what they teach in this course. Granted, it takes a little while. You're going to have to put work in. I'm not saying it's going to be plug and play and in two minutes like you see on these TikTok videos when they're like, we'll make you I made $3,000 today, by doing 5 minutes of work. That's not true. It's not going to happen. But you can build an extremely effective and realistic business by doing what they teach in the course. And that's 100% true.
Joe, we really appreciate it. Like, honestly, we weren't expecting you to, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And the really cool thing about you, Joe, you've been around since, you were actually Matt's customer, right? Like,
he was in the original beta. He was in the original 7-day challenge, which signed up for the original 7-day coaching and then bumped up.
That was before. So, like, Joe's been around before the inception of the REMCM group at that point. Yeah. So because your group started before that, right? I think. Which is really cool. So Joe, honestly, we really appreciate you jumping on tonight. Thank you so much for all the kind words and stuff like that. And
thank you guys. Like, you guys have literally given me so. Everybody out there, listen to this. I'm an agent, not even a marketer. 100% honest. I went from nobody, 24 years old, not knowing what to do, never been in sales, working with Matt, working with Shane. Last year, I made over $150,000. Awesome. This year to date, I'm almost to $150,000. Like, I went, a 25-year-old, I walk into meet with a CPA, right? This is, 4 or 5 months ago when I was doing my taxes. Walk in, he's like, kind of asking me some questions, blah, blah. And he's like, well, once you get to a good enough spot in your real estate, we'll have to talk about moving from a sole proprietor to an LLC. And I handed him all my paperwork, right? He looks at it. So we have to have that talk now. And I was just like, that felt so good. That felt so good. I got awards here on my desk because I've implemented what you guys did. So no, thank you. Don't thank me. Thank you.
Okay, well, whatever, Joe.
I love it. I love it.
It's awesome.
I don't know how to react, but I love it.
It's it's really, really nice. And we never thought we could get it's nice to see that people are getting success, but when you're part of that and you're seeing, everybody and you as well, and it's humbling, right? It's nice. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And it's nice that our efforts, because, the shit we do it's not that easy. Like, for people out there that thinking they're going to go out and, put together a course and all this stuff and do coaching, it takes a lot of freaking effort, right? It takes a lot of effort to show up on Whiskey Thursday every single Thursday night, right? It takes effort, right? It takes effort. Like, all the coaching calls we did for 6 months with our program and the Academy students takes effort.
6 months. What are you talking about? I had a coaching call come through last week that was like, hey, I saved you.
I hit Matt up at least once a week to ask him stuff. Like,
so it's nice to hear the thank you. I appreciate the appreciation because we do put a lot of effort into it, and we feel like I think both Matt and I feel like we do put our heart and souls into this, right? Like, it's we do give a shit, right? We wouldn't be selling. I would not feel comfortable taking people's money if they were not getting results. And Matt and I have had that discussion many, many times in the past.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Joe, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the show once again. 3rd time, I think in the past. I think you've been on 3 times now, right?
That's my 3rd time.
Love it.
It's awesome. Great having you on Whiskey Thursday. Everybody that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you've been watching since the beginning, hashtag Super Trooper. Super Trooper. If you've been watching since the beginning. And we really, really appreciate your support and sticking around for the 2 hours.
Yeah, let's see those Super Troopers down in the comments below. Brent Sexton, another guy with a similar background to you, Joe, says, I got my real estate license because of this group and will pay off my $30,000 in college debt this year because of the deals I've closed from what this group teaches. Brent, would love to hear that. And I know, Joe, a lot of people don't know this, and we obviously can't advertise it in the program, but you've hopped on the calls with a lot of agents in this group that have had questions. And so thank you for that, right? Brent, I think, is included in that group, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those things where you just, there's a lot of people in there, yourself included, that give above and beyond. We really love that. We appreciate it.
For sure.
So,
Joe, we got Joe here, half Super Trooper. Thanks, Joe, for tuning in. I love it. Joe's cool. He's got, if you ever look at some of his posts, they're really, really neat. He's also an agent, I believe, in Florida as well.
Dude,
Ahmad, Super Trooper. Ahmad's been watching the entire time. Ahmad, I guess it was worth it. I hope it was valuable for you to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, watch the entire show, and stick with us.
It's so 7:15 now, man. Time to go and get it.
That's the dedication right there. He got up early.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With that, Joe, appreciate you spending so much time with us again. Stick around here. Matt, great being on the show with you. Everybody else that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Whiskey Thursday. And we will see you next week with, we're not 100% sure yet.
We're not 100% sure. No. If you know somebody, let us know. No. But,
hey guys, middle of the season, we're going to run a rerun.
Rerun? No. We do our best for season 2 not to do that, but we're currently filling a slot that I believe somebody canceled. Is that right, Shane?
Yeah, that's what ended up happening. Somebody canceled for next week, so
yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. We're working. We're putting it together.
We got a couple ideas in the works that if we don't have somebody specific, we've got a couple really cool ideas. So we'll see.
Make sure to fill me in on those, Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I said we. I mean, Anyways,
yeah, Matt said we're going to do this, so and now we're doing it.
Pretty much. So, anyways, Joe, thanks again. Stick around for the after show where we're going to talk a little bit more. And everybody who's here, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Take care.